Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are in Austin, getting ready to hit the streets. I'm just sitting in a parking lot at the moment, getting stuff set up, but some interesting stuff happening today. Hang on, I gotta change the. Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. I gotta change that. Give me a sec. Why didn't I change that before? I did up the settings. I upped the settings, so hopefully it looks a little bit better. The stream, anyway. Alright, that's better. Sorry, I had to fix my logo thing there. There, that looks better. Alright, so yeah, we are. There's a lot of protests going on right now. Not only do the college kids want to get into it, but now high school kids are getting into it. There is apparently a planned protest at Bowie High School today. That's going to be kind of interesting. We'll try to see if we can't cover some of that, but I'm hesitant to take cameras onto a public school campus, if you know what I mean. That just doesn't. Camaro Gray, yeah. There's high school protests planned today. All these kids are getting into it now. Everybody's wanting to protest today. I think it's look, we live in America and protest is our right, but I think like the line technically should kind of be drawn. Public school, you're there to you're there to yeah, I don't. Anyway, you're there to learn, and I mean, I guess it's all right if you're protesting. It's the end of the school year, but yeah. So, Judge Glock. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, we'll see what's gonna happen. I know yesterday. I was out at the UT campus, and the police were obviously planning on something happening there. There was a lot of cops out there, a lot of barricades and things. I think it was because of the quote unquote May Day protest that got canceled because of the weather, and then really, I mean, it stormed last night, but it wasn't too terribly bad. So Sunday, we'll see what happens Sunday. It's supposed to happen again on Sunday. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let me check the. Let me check the account that is Palestinian Solidarity. See if we can find. Come on. Okay, there it is. We'll follow them. All right. Let's see. So they posted 12 hours ago. All of the 429 UT Austin protesters have been released. So there's all the protesters are out. Oh, the other thing, the cameraman that was that was taken to jail for pushing his camera into the back of that cop, he has been recharged. The charges were dropped and he was let go, but he has since been recharged with assault. What was it? Hang on. It was, give me a sec here. I'll tell you what he was charged with. He was charged, okay. He was charged with 2 misdemeanors, assault, and he was also charged with interference with public duties. He was booked back into the Travis County Jail yesterday. This all stems from the same incident when the was in the crowd on the lawn. His initial trespassing charges were dropped. Then DPS briefly pursued a felony assault charge before that was dropped too. So apparently the DPS actually pursued felony assault charges against him, and then that was dropped. And then so now we have just misdemeanor assault and interference with public duties. He was booked back into the Travis County Jail yesterday. I have not heard if he was released. I'm sure he's probably been released, but let's see. Okay. Ashley Banfield. I know Ashley Banfield. She says, I've worked with a lot of photogs in nearly 40 years in TV news. This local news photog for his job is trying to get a great shot. Why would he ruin the shot by jamming his camera into a police officer? It would literally ruin his shot, which is the only reason he's out there. Yeah, so, yeah, I'll tell you what. I don't know what the guy was doing. I know Carlos. I mean, I don't know him personally, but I know him from doing this job. Talked to him quite a bit. You know, going to these scenes and such. You know, I don't know what happened. The guy, as far as I knew, he seemed like a pretty level-headed guy. Like, it just didn't seem like that was something that he would have done. It's kind of, you know, from what I know of him, it was out of character. So, you know, who knows? Who knows what happened? There's some videos going around where he was kind of fighting with the troopers shortly before the incident happened, so maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know, but it's bad, man. I mean, you're out there trying to cover the news. The whole point of covering the news is you want to get the story, right? Like, you want to get the story. You want to tell the story to your audience. And I've learned this early on. Doing what I'm doing, is if you generally tell people and show people what's happening, they can, you know, people are smart. Humans are very smart people. They don't need somebody to tell you what's happening. So as long as you're, you know, showing people what's happening and giving them accurate video and accurate information, you don't want to become the story. You want to tell that story. You don't want to become the story. And he made himself the story. That's the problem. He interjected himself into the story. So I don't know what happened. I don't know why he did it. But it's pretty plain as day what happened when all the video came out. And boy, did I take a lot of heat for saying that, yeah, like he did it on purpose. A lot of people dragged me through the mud on that. But once all the information came out, yeah, he actually did it. He did it on purpose. So I don't know. But hang on, let me get my radio turned on. So I'm only going to be out today for a bit. I'm not going to be out all day today. My little boy is about to graduate and move on to middle school, which we are very excited about that for him. So we're going to go do haircuts and all that good stuff today. Get him ready for his little you know what, they're having ceremonies for everything nowadays. So when I graduated elementary school, I guess you call it graduated elementary school, when I moved on from elementary school to middle school, I didn't have a ceremony. But apparently they're having a ceremony. Alright. Hey Danielle, I just jinxed myself. I hope I didn't jinx myself. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat. I was trying to get radios and everything going. Oh man, y'all, Danielle Fountain is the lady in the chat there. She is absolutely the best, one of the, if not the best realtor in Austin, and you guys should go give her a follow if you haven't done so already, because I'm going to tell you, I don't know much about real estate. I don't know much about buying real estate, but she puts out such great content when it comes to, real estate and how it works and tips. And I mean, I've learned so much just from reading her Twitter feed, and it's great. My wife and I, hopefully sometime in the future, will be buying a larger piece of property, and when that happens, Danielle will absolutely be our realtor. I wouldn't trust anybody else. She supports us, and like-minded people, we gotta kind of all stick together in this world now, to be quite honest. Sad that it has to be that way, but it is that way. And I hope I didn't jinx myself. But last night we had the storms come through. They weren't bad storms, but a lot of rain. We thought they were going to be bad storms. Earlier in the evening, I was checking I do the Skywarn stuff, and then as a media outlet, we can join in on the National Weather Service chat, where they're talking about the forecast, talking to the media outlets, so on and so forth. And they were thinking earlier in the evening yesterday that could get kind of bad last night, but thank goodness it didn't. They did issue a severe thunderstorm watch, and it was actually talked about, I believe, for a little bit about being a tornado watch. But yeah. So local National Weather Service does not issue watches. Those watches, the severe thunderstorm and tornado watches, come out of Norman, Oklahoma at the Storm Prediction Center. They issue the watches, and then your local National Weather Service office, which ours is in New Braunfels, they issue the warnings for their area of coverage. That's how that kind of works. Local National Weather Service does not do watches. They do the warnings. And the media, stakeholders, whatever you want to call them, have access to a National Weather Service chat where you can see kind of what's happening, and they give people a heads up. I can't believe the high schools are getting in on these protests now. It just blows my mind a little bit. I don't know if it would be smart to try to film at a high school or not. I mean, I don't really know what the rules are for that, to be quite honest. I wished I knew what the rules were. I don't know if it's proper to go there with a camera. I mean, they are children, so I don't know. I guess it doesn't hurt to try, and then if I'm told to leave, then we leave. I really don't think there would be much to film there anyway. I don't think. I mean, I highly doubt a high school is going to let things get too out of hand. You know. I highly doubt even if they would even try to get out of hand. How does the stream look this morning? Does it look any better? I upped the settings, the resolution settings on the output now that I have better internet. So I'm hoping that it looks a little bit better. I mean, we should be running at like 720 at least right now. What is today? Thursday? Yeah, today's Thursday. Hat Creek Burgers. Anyway, what I was saying a while ago, I'm only going to be out for a bit today. I've got some stuff to do with my kiddos. We are also doing some, we're planning a meet and greet that we're going to be participating in. It's sometime in the first part of May coming up. I hope a lot of you folks, once we announce where it's at and all the details, I hope you guys can come out. I love meeting you guys. It's really awesome to meet you. Say hi, take pictures, whatever. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know why I'm yawning so much this morning. That dude did not have a shirt on, and he's a big boy. Hey, by the way, I don't know, maybe, so look, last week or several days ago, somebody sent me a message. They have a podcast here in Austin that it was a fairly big podcast. They wanted me to come on. I get so many messages lately. I have lost that message. I don't know where I read it. I don't know if it was in my email or in my DMs. I can't remember where it was at, but I can't find it anymore. I do want to come on your show. I would be happy to come on your show. I just can't find the message to reply. And I feel really dumb about that. I was looking for it last night. I actually looked for it for about 30 minutes and couldn't find it. If you happen to be listening and you invited me onto your podcast, send me another message, please, because I just can't find it. I'm not ignoring you. I just can't find it. And being that it's a bigger show, I highly doubt you're watching, but there is always a chance. We're going to be doing a lot of shows coming up soon. It's going to be a lot of fun. The protest changed things. The protest kind of opened us up to more of a national audience. And that can be a bad and good thing at the same time. When I started all of this, I wanted it to be about Austin. I didn't want it to be about everywhere else. I wanted it to be about issues here in this city. And we have enough issues to deal with. But now I'm getting more people from outside of Texas following, commenting, asking questions about their own areas. And sadly, I don't have the expertise in other cities to even comment on other issues from other cities. And I really don't have time to research those issues either. So, yeah, it's great that other people are taking notice and other people are watching. But at the same time, it's bad because it starts taking the focus off of Austin. And the focus needs to stay right here. I didn't look in. Let's see, proton melt. Oh my god. Y'all want to hear the funniest piece of spam mail that I've ever gotten? Hang on, let me turn this down. I'm going to read y'all this email that I got. It's spam mail for sure, but I think it's absolutely funny. A guy named James Robert. The subject of the email is fashion model shoot. He says, hello. He says, hello. I'm James Robert, a photographer here in Austin. He says, after discovering your online work, I'm excited about the possibility of working with you as a fashion model and potentially becoming a brand ambassador for our clothing brands. We're seeking individuals nationwide, blah, 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 blah. The compensation for the project is $8,000 and it will be conducted at rented studios in Austin. If you're available or interested, reply for more information. These people sent my ugly ass an email saying, we want you to be a fashion model. Holy shit, that's funny. I should reply just to see what happens. Bitcoin BMW. It'll be, right now I know of a protest happening at Bowie High School. I'm sure there's others. I'm looking for the information now, but for a certain Bowie High School here in Austin is going to be protesting today. I guess these kids want to get in on the action too, man. They see everything happening at the university and they're like, hey man, we need to get in on that. I guess it never hurts for these young people to learn how to protest before they even get to college, because the way things are going in these schools nowadays, that's like half of what they do is protest everything. So, and of course, the schools, the leaders in these schools they're not gonna stop it from happening. So, I mean, it is what it is, I guess. But I'm going to be a fashion model, y'all. I'm going to be a fashion model. That is so funny. I'm going to make $8,000 to show off this hot body. I'm going to be a brand ambassador. I guess I could be a brand ambassador for the Big and Tall store. Because I'm not a little feller. I think the last time I checked, I weighed in like 216, 6 foot, 216. So, not a little guy. I'm a bigger guy. Definitely not fashion model material. You know what? I think I'm going to reply back to that email just to see exactly what'll happen. Maybe I could find some like really good fashion model-esque pictures on the internet and send to the guy. Like, hey man, this is the good stuff right here.
You might want to try and get a hold of Hal Kimball. That's probably going to be one of his.
So, we are on Starlink this morning, and it's working great. We're about to get into a bowl here, so it's going to be interesting to see if I lose any signal down here. Have you ever seen any demonic witchcraft in the Greenbelt camps? Oh yeah, well, look, I want to say yes, that I have seen some of that stuff, but I really don't, I really don't know what constitutes like witchcraft. In Rami's camp, I call him Chainsaw Guy just because his name is hard to say, but in Rami's camp, he would make these. I wouldn't call it witchcraft, but it was what do you call it? Like like the Blair Witch stuff. When you watch that show Blair Witch, and they would have like these little wooden things hanging around. He did all that stuff in his camp, and it's freaky. My kids went to Bowie. I guarantee at the time they knew very little about world conflicts. Okay, I agree. But things are changing with these kids nowadays, and it's my opinion that it has a lot to do with everybody being on social media. So, being out at the University of Texas with these young people, I don't want to call them kids, but these young people, being out there talking to them about what they're doing, why they're protesting. They say, things like, we want the university to divest from Israel. And then you ask them a follow-up, what does that even mean? What do you mean you want them to divest? They don't have it. They really don't know. They don't know what they're talking about. Most of them are there because, of course, you have your hardliners that are there. They know exactly what they're doing. But you have kids that are there. I shouldn't say kids, I'm sorry. You have young people that are there because it's like the popular thing to do. You know what I mean? It's like they know that, they're going to be accepted. They'll be accepted into a community, and they're gonna find a way to fit in. They're gonna find popularity, and they do that. That's a lot of the reason they're there. The problem is the people that are actually putting these protests on. What ends up happening is you have outside people. They're agitators. They come in and they co-opt this protest. These young people, they feel very strongly in the cause that they are protesting for, but then you have these outside people, these communist folks that come in and they co-opt the protests for their own thing. It's why, like, they had the liberation zone, they call it the People's Liberated Area or something like that. And the People's Liberated Area, that is like communist as it comes. You know what I mean? So a lot of these protests are styled after we're protesting for Palestine, but it ends up being they're protesting just to tear down the system in the United States, and that's very popular on college campuses right now. Now, in the other universities, we've seen where Jewish students, they are assaulted. They're not allowed on campus. They fear for their lives. I will say at the University of Texas, during all of these protests, there have been Jewish students out there carrying the Jewish flag, the Israeli flag, carrying the Star of David. They were out there, in force, and pretty much everybody left them alone. So that didn't happen at the University of Texas. The Jewish students were there with everybody else. What's interesting, day before yesterday, I went out there when those two professors were talking to the protesters, and they were taking questions. So you would think, being a university where they foster critical thinking and thought, that if somebody didn't really understand what they were protesting for, if people had questions about it, they would answer those questions in a meaningful way. And the exact opposite happened. If you ask a question to them that went counter to whatever their narrative is, they would shut you down immediately. There was no questions being answered if it was questioning why they were there. And that goes for the media. Even when the media was asking questions, nope, couldn't ask them. They would not answer them. If we saw a guy walk up and ask the professors a question, one of the professors that was there, and she started answering his question, until she saw that he had a yarmulke on the back of his head. The minute she saw that, she told him that she suddenly had a severe headache and couldn't talk to him anymore. And you know that's kind of sad at a public, at a university where these professors, kids look up to them, and they refuse to even talk to anybody that is Jewish, and that's kind of scary, man. That's kind of scary. So, and it happened. I watched it happen, and actually, it was on my stream. I streamed it happen. So, people that say that does not happen, they're lying, because it does happen. It's scary. If I was Jewish, I probably would not feel safe on these campuses either, to be quite honest. I probably, if I was Jewish and I had a child at any of these universities, I would probably bring them home, fearing that they would get hurt. Part of the talking points when the teachers were talking to the when the teachers was talking to the protesters, part of what they were talking about was, how do we make people think that this is not anti-Semitic? I mean, if you're if you've got to prove to people, or if you've got to make people believe that your protest message is not anti-Semitic, you may need to look at your protest message. It's kind of scary. Man, Starlink is going strong right now. I'm very happy with Starlink. This is so awesome. Alright, we have a traffic injury on Decker Lane, wires down on 45, carbon monoxide alarm, and a fire alarm out at the Tesla Gigafactory.
Sam 675, Charles Bolt 2, Sam 675.
We're going to roll over and check on the Barton Creek Greenbelt real quick. I want to see if the city has shown back up out there to do anything. So check this out. A lot of these places, like shopping centers, they don't like outsiders being in their lots. They don't like people doing like stuff that we do on their property. We were out at the Barton Creek Greenbelt where the homeless camps are last week, I think it was, and the guy that owns that property, that whole shopping center, he was driving through and looking at us kind of like, what the heck, who are these guys? And he went and got security and came back, and once he finally figured out exactly what we were doing and who we were, he was all for us being there, because having the homeless camps on his property, it's a big problem. It's a big problem for them. Theft is high, car break-ins are high, the property gets just looking like complete crap. So we actually took him down into the homeless camps down in there, into the camps that's behind. Hang on, y'all. Hey, what's up? Alright, guys, sorry about that. I was on the phone with my buddy.
Bill Valley Airport, dispatch W1023. Show fire and EMS on scene.
I'm gonna go back here and see what's up at the green belt.
805, 814.
I don't know if my Starlink will fit under that.
Give me a call.
Well, I guess it will. Will my Starlink fit under this?
One Baker 20.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It will fit.
Yeah, 1 Baker 20. The ambulance is on scene. They're going to be taking the Toyota Corolla, the TRP 7105, Circle Dawkins, the intersection.
Temper.
It's not good out here this morning, guys. A lot of junk.
Yeah, 1 David 31, clear code 4.
Show me on route to Oak Meadows for security check.
Traffic accident. Slaughter and Congress.
Engine 1 from
Slaughter
fire
and
dispatch, making response.
Congress. All right. Slaughter and Congress.
Here at 1M40 code 4, self-initiated traffic hazard, 3744 North Clinton Parkway.
Kara Sanchez.
Fire from east from medic 35. Medic 35. We need another ambulance first. Please go 3. We see that unit go 3. Responding, Florida, South Carolina, Parkland, South. Receive engine 36.
1 Baker 10, 1 Baker 25. Suspect's dogs also killed some chickens. Complainant's okay with disconnecting.
Not good.
115's code 4.
Medic 37, back in medic 35, 34 traffic.
Received a call from Scott Kippel to his brother's house. It's probably going to be one of their cows. He's going to send someone over to that area to help y'all get that calf back into the fence line. 10-4.
17 and disconnected. Mayor 24 is on traffic, 14,700 block north of 3.
905.
32 heart problems, 4401 Spicewood Springs. Truck 36, you guys canceled.
Locking. Still getting further.
One Baker 15, can you start me at 51? It's going to need to be a Class C for a load for 44,000 pounds.
Baker 3. This driver advised his record's going to be over an hour out.
10-4. 1 Baker 29, code 4. Clear for 4.
Control 19, we're en route to Edward.
Region 19.
Mayor 23 is on route to party to collision 973 in Greg Lane. It's going to be blocking, no injuries, smoke or fluids via beige Ford Expedition versus silver Nissan.
X7 responding 4401 space was secured. 3C7, I don't know if you have engines in
Security check completed. Exterior doors are secured. One interior door unsecured.
Interesting.
287's on traffic, 11,900 block Oakland Drive.
4.
10-4. $13.50. $13.50.
Oh man.
David 2049, 1041 Hayes. 10-4.
Sorry, y'all, I'm looking at what's happening around the city.
Yes, ma'am. That employee is going to be transported to St. David's Hospital. Excellent.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Show me with the irate student up front office, code 4, no status checks needed.